Andy Strickland goes one-on-one with Doug Armstrong about the moves.
And Jim, thanks a lot. Very busy day, obviously, around the National Hockey League with the trade deadline, as it always is. You know, my first question for you is, do you enjoy trade deadline day?
It's part of the business. Obviously, it's an exciting time trying to improve your team. It's not really a stressful time, but you feel stressed for the people involved, the players that are hearing their names, and I like when it's over. I like to see if you can improve your team, who's done what, and really the best part is when you get a chance to meet the new players coming in. There's that void of players leaving before you get a chance to meet the new guys. So once the new guys get here, it seems to be complete and you're ready to move forward.
You bring in two right-shot defensemen who bring two different types of toughness. You know, Robert Bortuzzo was a guy who, you talk to people with Pittsburgh, they rave about his character. Is that something you wanted to improve with this hockey club?
Well, I think that style of player was something that we wanted to get into our group. Really, Joel Edmondson was a player that we thought might be filling that role by this time this year, but he sustained a back injury earlier in training camp and really didn't get up and running till end of January, early February. So Robert comes into our group. He's a right-shot defenseman. He has a physical edge to him, and through our due diligence, talking to people in Wilkes-Barre, talking to people that have played with him at different levels, the one word that you used that came out was character. A great team guy, a great character guy, understands the nuances of a team, and we saw that the other night when Pittsburgh was in town, when David Backus and Malkin were going at it. He interjected his self in there to protect Malkin, and not that Malkin needs protecting, but he understood what his job responsibilities are, and I think that's an important part of a team.
Olli Jokinen is a guy who, if you've been around the National Hockey League or followed the game, you're certainly familiar with, with who he is and what he brings to the table. And talking to him this morning, you can really get that, veteran presence from him when you talk to him. You can never have too much experience, can you?
No, and it's funny. I've talked to Olli, and Ken and I talked to Olli a few years ago when he was going into, I think it was Winnipeg, about the interest in coming to St. Louis, and so we've talked at a couple different occasions. Just hasn't worked out. This time he's a little bit older. The role is certainly different, but he's a player, Andy, that can play in our top 9 when needed. That has the experience of playing in that environment of against good players and with good players. And that depth is very important for us. I thought Porter gives us really good depth, defined depth, and I think our fourth line is a really good component to our team, but very defined in what they can do. So I think it's just a different type of player, and an experienced player is important.
Last year, I know you guys suffered some injuries down the stretch, and you lost the last couple of games before the playoffs. What do you want to see from your hockey club besides staying healthy down these last 19 games or so?
But I think we'll find a different sense of urgency now the last 19 games, and one of the things we do want to protect against is overusing players. Having this depth now is going to allow Ken some opportunity to make sure we're resting our players and getting everybody involved into our lineup as we enter the playoffs.
All right, good luck down the stretch. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Andy.
All right, that's Doug Armstrong, Blues General Manager. Jim, let's send it back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Doug.